Good morning and welcome to Unity Church. I'm the Reverend Dr. Oscar Sinclair. I serve the congregation as your senior minister. I'm joined in the chancel this morning by our Minister of Congregational Care, Shay MacKay, by our worship associate, Richard Buggs, by our Hallman intern, Amy Brunell. I'm going to say just a couple words before... No, first I'll welcome you, and then I'll say a couple words. There we go. If this is your very first time here, welcome. We are doing a thing this morning that we have not done in 6 years, but we're going to do it, and I'm going to talk about that in a minute. If you're joining us online, welcome. If you've been coming here for years, and you're like, I'm coming back because now we have an intern preaching again, welcome back. We've missed you. If you've come here seeking to be spiritually nourished, we hope you find what you are looking for. If you come here not really knowing why, but knowing that maybe on a Sunday morning where you need to be is in a church, we are so glad that you are here. Whatever brings you here, wherever you are going, whoever you are, we hope that you find Unity Church, a place that helps you find and keep your balance. And that it is a loving community that helps you to lead a life of integrity, service, and joy. If you are visiting this morning, there is a visitor card in front of you. If you would be so kind as to fill that out and place it in the offering plate when it goes by you later in the service, that will let us know who you are, what's brought you here, and what you are looking for. If you're joining us online, please send us an email with that same information. We would love to hear from you. We would love to know what brings you here with us this morning. Now the exciting part. So Unity Church, for at least 25 and maybe much longer years, has been a teaching congregation. So this is a congregation that helps to bring up ministers in training. Hallman ministerial interns in our denomination are folks who are finishing up their formal training in seminary. They have not yet served churches of their own, but they are doing that last step as they step into the full voice of their own ministry. It is a joy as a congregation to be able to be a part of that process, to support our interns, to nurture them into the ministries that they are called to. So that's what we're doing this morning. We are welcoming our Hallman ministerial intern, Amy Brunell, to our pulpit for the first time this year. She'll be joining us throughout the whole year, both in worship and in programming throughout the year. So I know that you will welcome her fully when she joins us, but I just want to say it is a pleasure to be a part of this. After the service, there we go. After the service, after you rapturously go through the receiving line and greet Amy, we will have our program for newcomers and visitors and interested folks in the center room, finding yourself at Unity. The topic this morning will be religious education, I believe. Let's see. Faith formation for children, youth, and adults. So we hope to see you there. For now, take a moment. Settle into this space. Put your feet flat. Sit up. And enter into worship with the ringing of our bell.
offer praise again, coming home to the light.
There is joy in the singing. That reminds me of the words we used to say here quite frequently at Unity. We dare not fence the Spirit. And in these times when darkness seems so determined to steer our lives, I think of the words that Reverend Oscar has spoken so often. We must not surrender our joy. We must not let these crazy times suffocate our spirit. So I'm going to go out on a limb here this morning and ask all of you to help me give voice to the Spirit. I will end my opening remarks by saying simply, we dare not fence the Spirit, and please join me in a resounding Amen. Okay, it's going to happen at the end. Are you ready? The reading this morning comes from our former minister, Arthur Foote, and it talks about the purpose of worship. How better can genuine worship be described than the finding of meaning, that alchemy transforming crowd to community, life to hope, chaos to tranquility, and even if rarely, dullness to delight. It is because we starve, we thirst for such transformations, and therefore it is essential that we not outgrow the need for worship. Worship, Arthur reminds us, is a search for and the discovery of meaning. And worship remains fundamental human business. The lonely crowd must somehow undergo metamorphosis into beloved community, a fellowship of the concerned, a society that cares. Worship is a determined effort to strip blindness from our eyes, to strip deafness from our ears, to strip hopelessness from our hearts. Worship is the way to make possible those precious moments when dullness is transformed to delight and our cup runneth over. Worship, we gather together, celebrating our deep and sacred call that we dare not fence the Spirit, to which we all resound an astounding Amen. Let us begin worship, please, by lighting the candle here and reciting with me the words in the order of service. We light this chalice as a symbol of our faith, the light of truth and the warmth of love. It happened. Number 346. Come, come, sing a song with me. Come on, come and sing a song with me. Your wounds are welcome here. Words spoken at Unity at the beginning of worship each Sunday morning. I cannot hear these words without thinking of Louise Erdrich, the Minneapolis author. Her words, "Life will break you. You are here to risk your heart. You are here to be swallowed up. Nobody can protect you from that." Each of us has walked with wounds, physical, emotional, psychological. We've walked with wounds that leave echoes of what we have endured and offer pathways into what we might become. So here's the big payoff. Once we embrace our pain and trauma reflectively with soul-wrenching honesty, once we accept the call to embrace our darkness and not let it steer our lives, then we meet our deeper selves for the very first time. My past wounds have led me to toss aside my well-honed defenses and invited me to dance forward, energized by the pulsating power of vulnerability. Our wounds break us open, and through the cracks, we find the courage to be seen for who we really are. We are loving, imperfect people, determined to foster compassion, grateful for having found renewed strength in our fragile human condition. We are determined, in the words of Florida Scott Maxwell, to be fierce with reality and luminously alive. I love that line. We are determined to be fierce with reality and luminously alive. Our brokenness becomes someone else's healing. We reach out to touch their wounds with a warm and tender hand. We become, in the words of Carl Jung, wounded healers. Your wounds are welcome here. Elizabeth Kubler-Ross, whom we may well recognize as the founder of the 5 States of Grief, offers a most elegant response to this statement. She writes, "The most beautiful people I have known are those who have known defeat, those who have known suffering, those who have known struggle, those who have known loss and have managed to find their ways out of the depths. These persons have an appreciation, a sensitivity, and an understanding of life that fills them with compassion, gentleness, and a deep, loving concern." She concludes, "Beautiful people do not just happen." So we gather here today, dear people, lifted by the wisdom and resilience of wounds embraced. We welcome all who pass our way, evangelizing love to meet that deep and abiding hunger in all of us, that hunger for belonging and that hunger for joy.
Amen.
Amen.
Each time we gather for worship, we set aside a moment to expand the caring ministry of this congregation. We gather here together, trusting that this community is wide enough and deep enough to hold us in both our sorrow and our joy, in our challenges and our celebrations. Together, we recognize the cycle of life and death, the circle of love, compassion, and witness that is at the center of this and every sacred community. In our community today, we hold in care Barry Reich, who has been given a diagnosis of prostate cancer. In his note to me, he stated that even though he had eaten all his broccoli all his life, he's still got cancer. He asks for prayers and thoughts that this cancer will not grow and spread. And I add our cares and thoughts as he enters into treatment. We stand at the side of all those whose primary spiritual practice is caring for children, with those who live with grief or chronic pain, with mental illness, those who are in prison, those who struggle to make ends meet, those who struggle with addiction. We support and are inspired by those who rise above heartbreak to carry on the work of ending oppression in all of its forms. We celebrate with all of those who come through these doors with joy in their hearts, because this is a house of joy, and laughter is the sound of a thriving community. And we grieve. We grieve for the layers of loss, anger, and fear that are present in all parts of our lives these days and in our world. Let us now open our embrace to hold whatever is in your hearts this morning, whatever you want to share into this embrace, this community, please do so now. For all that we hold within, among, and beyond ourselves, let us be together now in a moment of shared silence. You'll pray with me, please. Source of radiance and awe, great mystery that welcomes all. When we are lost, help us feel known. When our days and our hearts are hard and broken, help us feel heard. When delight is real and joy is true, when sunlight warms our windows, our bodies, and brightens our gaze, may our hearts be filled with gratitude. May our words be alive with love. And may our embrace open to welcome all of who we are, all of what we've lost, all of what we've dreamt and continue dreaming, all of what it means to be beloved and to be in community. May we open our arms in welcome to all of what it means to be a beloved community. May it be so, and amen. Please rise in body and our spirit to join in our hymn number 123, Spirit of Life.
Our collection recipient this morning, as Reverend Oscar has alluded to, is the Hallman Intern Endowment. Many of us people who've been here for decades remember Laura Hallman. She joined us, I think, sometimes in the 70s as an assistant to Roy, became part of the RE program, went to ministry, served several churches here in the USA, and in 2008 became a candidate for president of the UUA. This endowment celebrating her journey and her spirit was set up here at Unity in 2002. And as Oscar has mentioned, we have become a teaching church. During COVID, we had no interns, but now we welcome our first intern since the COVID adventure, Amy. So please give generously. Here's the deal. This collection goes into the Laura Hallman Endowment with the expectation that the interest from that endowment will allow us to pay each of our interns a good stipend every year. So this is where it's going, to the Laura Hallman Endowment. So will the ushers please come forward? And as you think of your collection today, know that we are supporting all the efforts that go into Unity as a teaching congregation. May your generosity make your hearts leap for joy.
Our reading this morning comes from the Reverend Joan Javier-Duval. You are beloved, and you are welcome here.
Whether tears have fallen from your eyes this past week or gleeful laughter has spilled out of your smiling mouth.
You are beloved, and you are welcome here.
Whether you are feeling brave or brokenhearted, defiant or defeated, fearsome or fearful.
You are beloved, and you are welcome here.
Whether you have untold stories buried deep inside, or stories that have been forced beyond the edges of comfort.
You are beloved, and you are welcome here.
Whether you have made promises, broken promises, or are renewing your promises.
You are beloved, and you are welcome here.
Whatever is on your heart, however it is with your soul in this moment.
You are beloved, and you are welcome here.
In this space of welcome and acceptance, commitment and recommitment, of covenant and connection. You are beloved.
And welcome here.
Welcome. Welcome here. Good morning. I'm so glad you turned up. I was a little worried. I thought, well, the choir's here at least. Do they come for the interns? I wasn't sure. My name is Amy Brunell. My pronouns are she, her. I am a white, middle-aged, curvy, blonde woman. I wear glasses and I have a black robe. Today, I want us to consider welcome. And everyone, take a moment and do me a favor and just consider to you what welcome means. What does the word welcome or being welcomed mean? When have you felt welcomed? When did you hope to be welcomed, but were not? No shade to anyone. Sometimes we UUs have the best of intentions, and yet we struggle with even what might be for some of us an obvious practice, but it is not. The practice of welcome is the practice of hospitality. Our traditions, our manners, and how we were trained and by whom, our cultures, our genders, and our positions within even this congregation, for example, make differences when it comes to how we welcome and what we need to feel welcomed. I have been so welcomed by y'all. And for that, I do thank you. However, in light of our theme this month, the dangerous words, could someone's welcome actually feel dangerous. It is interesting to wrap up our month with the theme of dangerous words, to consider what feels very innocuous could be dangerous to some. No matter what anyone thinks, our practices of hospitality vary, and I'm asking you to consider this sort of tension with me that I experience as well. When I came back, and I do mean back to Unitarian Universalism in the 2000s, I noticed that my spiritual beliefs weren't welcomed. Now, let me clarify, I wasn't rejected as Amy, but my beliefs were. The fact that I believed in a spiritual divine presence was considered naive. You see, my old congregation had been supported for over 40 years with humanist, beloved ministers who did not believe in a divine presence. So many of our institutions reflect how one is welcomed by the history of the people who came before. What I've come to realize is it's also healthy for any group to occasionally reflect on its practices. How do we welcome? Reverend Joanna Crawford in Austin, Texas, once preached a sermon titled, "Welcoming in the Weirdos." She told the congregation that she wasn't worried about the people with purple hair or those with tattoos or piercings. She said, heck, those are our kids. But she was concerned of the reaction from the congregation if somebody walked in wearing a suit and holding a Bible. Ooh, I heard him. That was good, Oscar. That was good. I love that. And that message really hit home for me. How do we practice pluralism? How do we practice this big tent religion? How could we continue to say that we are this big inclusive tent if we subtly, and maybe not so subtly, sometimes reject people because they aren't like us? You see how welcome can be so dangerous? I invite us into having conversations where we're talking about who is welcomed and who is an outsider. I have atheist colleagues who have said that Unitarian Universalism is an atheist religion. That would not be accurate. We have atheists among us, but we are not atheists. We have Christians among us, but we are not Christians, and we have congregations who identify as Buddhists and Jews and Hindus and Sikhs. But Unitarian Universalism isn't any of those things either. We are a faith that has principles and sources and values that attempt to be inclusive of a large group of people who all have different theologies and faith practices, but want to do the work of justice while being in community together. I'm going to say that again. We are a faith that has principles, sources, and values that attempt to be inclusive of a large group of people who all have different theologies and faith practices, but want to do the work of justice while being in community together. When you consider that vastness in the potential of contemporary Unitarian Universalism, it is truly a wonder, and I don't know about you, but I get excited thinking about this big tent that we are creating. And you know what else? We actually want to be together. And we try to do this work of justice in beloved community. So I invite you to consider with me, how do we do that? We cannot say we are a big tent full of us and then reject aspects of our differing spiritual lives. We cannot judge another's practice if one of our principles is the free and responsible truth for search and meaning. This means I respect your search. Please respect mine. One of the ins, or for those of you online, hello, or don't know about ins, goals of this congregation is to cultivate a multi-generational community. Did you know that some congregations don't want to see children in a worship space? I mean, at all. When I was growing up in a UU congregation, we weren't actually allowed into the sanctuary space. It wasn't explicitly stated, but the unspoken message was we weren't welcomed into the space. When I came back to a UU church, children were not only welcomed in, but we actually sang them out. I was gobsmacked. I mean, really? In my little congregation back home, we sing, "For you shall go out in joy, for you shall go out in joy, and come back in peace, and come back in peace, blessed be." I'm so passionate about creating and sustaining welcoming places for young adults. I can tell you from my experience that my 27-year-old UU son pushes me into new ways of thinking. Younger generations have always pushed older generations into new ways of speaking, new words to learn, new inventions, new ideas, and new thoughts. For many years, young adults have told us people of this faith as a whole, there is data, that they do not want to come to traditional church settings and sit and listen to sermons and sing only hymnal songs. They would like a more welcoming experience for them, a more active experience. And many congregations struggle to imagine what this could be for young adults. Unity has a lot going on musically. Oh my goodness, choir. That was amazing. It is one of your strengths, and a variety of music is actually welcomed in this worship space. One of the reasons newer Christian churches are growing, according to the research, is because musically they offer a much more contemporary vibe. They have drums and guitars, kind of like the Unity band, and people feel safe to express their feelings by either laughing or crying. Sometimes people in Christian churches say amen. They call out or affirm what is at the pulpit, and personally, I love that. I love waving my hands or saying amen when I hear something from the pulpit that resonates. And if you would like to, I would welcome that feedback. Let's take a moment and consider other religions and this concept of welcome. For example, in Judaism, the concept of hakneset ochim is the mitzvah or commandment of welcoming guests and showing hospitality. It involves not only inviting people, but also making them feel comfortable, honored, and at ease. So how do we invite people in and make them feel comfortable and at ease? This challenge is huge. And in my way of feeling comfortable and at ease may not be your way of feeling comfortable and at ease. So can we be open to some different expressions of comfort and ease? Yes, it may not be your tradition or your way that you normally do it or the way you were raised, but I'm still inviting us to consider alternatives. In Islam, the Prophet Muhammad emphasized the importance of hospitality, saying, "There is no good in the one who is not hospitable." In the Islamic tradition, hospitality is associated with giving to those in need, forgiveness, friendship, and fellowship. For those of you who've experienced religious harm, I'm not trying to trigger anybody here with this. Reverend Shay reminded us last week that when something reminds us of our past religious experiences, we have to do the inner work to stay grounded. We cannot reject people's spiritual journeys and how they find meaning in those journeys. And that can be hard, and it takes courage. But have hope. And remember, we're trying to do something very radical in Unitarian Universalism. We're trying to be a big tent. Our new values now include the word pluralism, which means that we are purposely shifting together to create our diversity in culture, experiences, and theology. And I'm going to be honest, I've blown it. My welcome sometimes doesn't work. I wanted you to know that as a liberal, white, cishet, Jen Jones woman, ask me later what Jen Jones means if you don't know that. I have made assumptions about the way I welcome, and I've had to take a step back, take feedback, stay open to connection. And if you are open to my message today, you might have to be open with a terrible disease I struggle with called foot and mouth. But there is hope. Let us consider now that not only the welcome before church starts, but how do we stay in the mode of hospitality during and after church? It's a lot more than just welcoming someone into our space. Hospitality is about how we act not only at the beginning, but how we continue to engage throughout the day. You might start with noticing what made you feel included when you came. What made you feel comfortable? And here's the tension. If we took a survey, believe me, there would be completely opposite answers to that question. One of my friends related at a contemporary church service in Los Angeles. They asked the new people to stand during the service. My friend wanted to find the exit as quickly as possible. For her, that was indeed unwelcoming. Too much, too scary, too. The point is, as loving, well-intentioned people, we are not always going to get it right. But when you are part of a big tent, we try to remain open to the tension. We are willing to sit in discomfort of not always getting it right. One of the challenges for all of us when we're new to a new group is that we have to do the internal work so that we can take the risk of finding people to share a community with. Most of us during coffee hour gravitate towards the people we know. That is a very human response. This congregation, amazingly, has many choices for people to go to during coffee hour. It's a real strength here at Unity. Congregations have tried many things to welcome people, but also congregations can do the same practice of welcoming for one new person and it feels great, and for another, well, you know. And that's the tension. It will remain. It also means for us to be consistent in continual cultural training. And while many of us have traveled either around the United States or around the world, being welcomed and feeling welcomed varies. While I am certainly no expert, there are cross-cultural communication trainings that I think many of us white people would benefit from. We could learn more about nonverbal cues as well. So what are my dreams about being more welcoming in our spaces? I think first is just being intentional and open. Personally, I would like to see large name tags with large fonts. And I would like pronouns to be included. Pronouns give an implicit message for our gender queer siblings that you are welcome here. I would like to make sure that disability access happens in all congregations, and I would like ASL offered at all sermons and in congregational speeches for our siblings that need that. I would like families with special needs members to have their spiritual needs attended to because all congregations had the ability and resources to care for our special needs families. I would like music that included, hang on, Taylor Swift and Beyonce. I am so excited about our new virtual hymnal, by the way. I would like more preaching in public spaces. I would like stronger marketing to tell people who the heck Unitarian Universalists are and what we're doing. And I'd like to be on college campuses to grow our faith. I'm sure that there are more ideas, and yes, much of this takes money and time and ability. And what I'm asking us to do today is simply open our minds to possibility and dreaming. I am encouraging all of us to ask ourselves, how am I welcoming? Where did I learn that? How are we welcoming? Do we here at Unity have a specific culture of welcoming? What is centering our values when it comes to hospitality? What is centering Unity's values when it comes to hospitality? These are not gotcha questions. They are merely opportunities to slow down and consider if there is a new spark to add. Oh, and welcome. May I welcome Ahmed up to our choir up to the chancel for our final song.
Good morning, everyone. So our closing hymn is called Lead with Love, or One Foot in Front of the Other. We have sung it before. I'm going to remind you how it goes, and then you're welcome to sing it along with the choir, who will be singing what you're singing and some other things. So the words are, you got to put one foot in front of the other and lead with love. Can you say that? You got to front of the other, lead with love. So let's see, it goes, you got to put one foot in front of the other and lead with love. Try that. You gotta put one foot in front of the other and lead with love. And put one foot in front of the other and lead with love. Ready? Put one foot in front of the other and lead with love. All right, so the whole thing would go, you gotta put one foot in front of the other and lead with love. One more time. You gotta put one foot in front of the other and lead with love. Put one foot in front of the other and lead with love. You've got it, right? Yeah. All right, then let's please stand up and please sing it in a way that it doesn't sound like a dirge, all right? So here we go. One foot in front of the other and lead. Don't give up hope. You're not alone. Don't you give up. Keep moving on. Lift up your eyes. Don't you despair. Look up ahead. The path is there. I know you're scared, and I'm scared too, but here I am, right next to you. and lead with love, and lead with love.
On. Microphone, microphone. I'm doing a benediction. I was so excited. Spirit of life, spirit of love, spirit of wonder, and spirit of mystery. May our hearts be light today. May we go in joy. May we go in peace, because it is that joy and hope and light and leading with love that gives us the energy, the injection to do the work of justice among everyone. Go in peace. Thank you.
Amen.
Huh? Hang on. We're done.
Are we done?
We're done.
Let's go.
Okay, let's go.